Hey everyone, Tom here, Battle Rap Resume, back with yet another episode of the show. Today we're doing one of my favourite things to do, actually, an ongoing series that we've been doing for quite a while now on BRR. That's the Classic Event Rewind. So, or, under certain circumstances as well, we look at a tournament and recap all the battles. Shout out to Jonathan Rimmer, who came on for the King of the Dot World Dom 2. We've done stuff with Joker as well on 4th birthday, first quarter tryouts as well. And now we're doing, another landmark event here. Certainly for me personally, and I'm sure many other people, this tournament as a fan, this is my don't flop, really. This was such an incredible time in the league. The viral wave had started kind of really at the end of 2011, been percolating for a long time. Lunas and Blizzards carrying on throughout the year with real superb events as well, like To The Test 10 and, the Birmingham card and stuff like that. Into 4th birthday, well, obviously things kicked up yet another gear. And here we are at the first big event after that. The start of a whole new chapter, a whole new movement. So many teams of so many hungry, fresh, eager battlers. Like, this is just, a legendary thing, this 2013 2v2 tournament. And today we're going through the whole thing with Tom. Tom, how's it going, man?
Yeah, I'm doing well, man. Glad to be back on here again.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we've gone through the Don't Flop title before as well, if people get a hankering for that. And, it is fun to look back, isn't it? Like, I don't know, maybe in some, psychoanalytical way, I'm sort of escaping the current predicament. But I love going back. I love the nostalgia, the rush. And, watching these all, we're going to get to the battles individually. Quality is quite high. I think there's a lot of really good performance and really good clashes.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, there's also some absolute shite.
Oh, my God. Yeah, the lowest of the low.
There's very, very good battles. Like, really, like, sort of. Again, you saying without trying to slag off what's happening now, but just like when Don't Flop was really sort of going, and when UK Battle Rap was at its peak, sort of pretty much, sort of 2013. So very much, not what it is now.
Certainly not what it is now, no. And, as always, guys, just before we hop into the battles, follow us at Battle Rap Resume. Get in touch with the show, battlerapresume@gmail.com, if you want to come on the show, you want to discuss anything like this, a classic event, etc. Go back through the archives, leave us a review on iTunes as well. Patreon is, of course, there, as it always is. And episodes like this, go on there. You'll be able to access them the next day we record them, and they won't be on the channel for, a few weeks or anything like that. But we'll start because, Tom, we got a fuckload of battles today. I think you almost had like 50 pages of notes in this motherfucker, right? Like,
I do. The thing is, I've got a terrible memory, and like I can type very quickly. Sure. So I basically was pretty much just writing down everything I could think of as I was watching it. So pretty much I could more or less do that without pausing. Mm-hmm. So it basically just means, it's just my reference, so I actually vaguely know what I'm talking about.
So it all kicked off, and that's what we're doing today in our first episode, by the way. There's a part 2 of this. We're going to go through the quarterfinals as well. But this all happened on one fateful day. The 2v2 tournament began in 2013, January 31st, to be exact, in Leeds at the Distinction event, the weekend spread across both days. And, I love it because you see so many of the people that have battled waiting to go on or post-battle. There's such a kind of communal yet intense vibe about this whole event, this whole slew of battles, Tom.
Yeah, I'd say. And the stage is absolutely packed with battlers.
Rammed. 14-year-olds are there, like very young kids are there.
Yeah, it's 14 and up,
Central,
isn't it?
It's mentioned a lot in the battle.
Oh, God, I know that you're a fan of them as well. I love reading the comment section of battles.
Oh my God!
Like I've picked out a few. I picked out like one for a few of the battles, and like one of them was something like along the lines of, I can't remember which battle now, but it's like the whole front row has got a fucking snapback on. I want to kill them all.
I think I saw that.
Just something so unnecessary. It's brilliant.
And, of course, guys, this is the event that had Briggsy versus Mixie, Carlos Pedro, O'Shea Uno, Flex Digits Im, Archaic versus Mickey was there as well. The Rice Krispie Squares, Euphorical versus Matter, but today, how can we forget Tony versus Definition as well? But today we're talking about these 2v2 clashes. And the first one, Tom, I want to start with a team that got to the final, Bam and Cystic, versus Big J and Lefty. I mean, let's just talk about the tournament as a whole. Finally, it was this perfect thing, wasn't it? For not necessarily, the O'Shea's that we mentioned before, or the whatever, the Matters. It was more just the guys who wanted to fucking battle, because this was such an exciting platform. People were willing to pay their money, and the overall deal was pretty sweet. The $3,000, to be fair.
Yeah, it was everyone. Well, it's £200 per team, wasn't it?
That's right.
So £100 per person, something like that. They had to pay to get in.
That's right.
I think I'm right in saying.
Yeah, that's what it was, I'm pretty sure. And, it kind of just egged it on all the more. Not, again, that it probably needed it. But
because it kind of, that kind of just shows that the people who entered it are actually willing to put their own money up. So they're willing to put in an effort.
Yeah.
And not just turn up and half-arse it.
That self-belief.
You could, yeah.
But maybe you could feel that you...
Well, I say that people didn't turn up and half-arse it. We'll get to that.
Yeah, of course. Of course. That sort of that quick cash grab as well can appeal to certain cretins.
Because Cystic's face looks a bit misplaced. It ain't hard to see. It ain't hard for me. Face looking like a Picasso masterpiece. Without his glasses, he can hardly see. Looking like a choir boy ready to put on a suit and sing a harmony. You ain't powering me, especially with them cheeks, G. You ask a girl to get freaky, she says, "Don't get cheeky." But don't worry, G, I got you. When you go gym and do bench press, your cheeks, they spot you.
I'm the coldest in town. Those cheek jokes weren't holding it down. That only got reaction because there's 14-year-olds in the crowd.
Yo, and seriously, I can't believe this is my next match. I mean, Big J, why can't you accept that? You're like an alcoholic. Anytime you try to use bars, it's just another step back.
And I know you think you're dope at spitting, but you drop more chokes than writtens. The way you're going... No, drop more chokes than writtens. The way you're going, you should get your own division. Demo Battles 2.0, where every upload goes missing.
Bam Cystic versus Big J and Lefty. This is... I mean, were Big J and Lefty robbed to you in this battle? Because a lot of people were confused, I guess. I think a lot of the cracks were showing in Bam and Cystic already, really. But when they come face to face with a comedic force like this, as absurd as they go and as offensive as Big J certainly goes, I don't know. What did you think?
I don't think they were, simply because, and I love Big J and Lefty, but it's sort of the unstructured versus the more structured rounds. Like Big J and Lefty were much funnier. They probably had the bigger moments in the battle, but overall, as a performance, as a duo, I thought Bam and Cystic were better. And I just think Big J and Lefty were a bit disjointed at times, to be honest. It's like good as their good moments were, it was all sort of a bit thrown together.
It was.
It
was. That is
their one. I feel like, just for me personally, I just feel like just the structure from the other side is what took it.
Yeah, Bamalam, definitely the scaffolding, the expertise, the professionalism that he brought to it. Cystic as well. Shout out Cystic. Whenever we mention Cystic on the show, mentioned it on the BAM episode, check out the BAM episode, BR episode recently. Want to get him on the show. The guy can flip. Seriously flip.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
the guy really
he's great. Yeah, he's great at it. And the whole, he gets called a terrorist throughout the battle. Big J, a Muslim, saggy face. He looks spastic, is what Big J says in 2013. His mixtapes, Osama's Bin Laden. It's quite an assault.
No, you look like Osama Bin Laden. Your mixtape was called Osama's Bin Laden.
That's right. That did well with the 14s and ups.
That's what Cystic flips as well.
Exactly.
He said, you only get a reaction because of how immature the crowd is.
He does. He panders straight to the pandering.
I always love when battlers insult the crowd. Like Soul does it well. I like a sort of Big K and people like this who are just like not just saying the crowd shit, but being like just like personally, almost like personally insulting them. Like, you're really immature.
Yeah.
That always cracks me up for some reason. Like the level of knowing that they're not going to like you, but just not giving a fuck and saying it anyway.
I mean, Cystic also flips the terrorist stuff as well. Lefty calls him a terrorist, but Lefty's the one that's got a bomb on his hat and wearing camouflage, which is really nice.
Yeah.
But Bam also does some good stuff here. I don't know, maybe I was a little quick on the jump there to say that Big J and Lefty won, but I just felt they certainly got more reaction and they weren't quite as leaden in their approach, and I think that convinced me.
I mean, I've got a few. I've got a few bars here, or sort of, I say bars, sort of jokes, sort of from Big J and Lefty. What was it like? Where's it gone? Yeah, he says that Bam's nan smokes better grade than him, and he'll slap the fuck out of her, rob all her weed, and store it in Cystic's cheeks.
Yes, he does say that. Yeah.
I've paraphrased that, but it's just
blood. Yeah.
The idea of it is just it's so funny. Like, just saying someone that nan smokes better weed than them. It's just inherently funny. And then what was it? He says Bamalam's a falafel-eating baffled vegan. Yes. Which is a great multi, but it doesn't mean anything.
Of course not. No, but
there's a lot of that in this tournament. There are so many times. Like, I think half of my notes is me writing down multis that are just said because they rhyme. Like, as good as the battles are and as good as these people are.
It's 2013.
There's so much just multiing for the sake of multiing. It's ridiculous.
It's littered with that. And, Big J and Lefty, they were an early casualty because they've went on to have loads of great doubles battles and stuff like that. Not that this means anything, but it's interesting that they didn't necessarily get through. We'll get to Shuffle being part of the first round as well later on.
Well, do we bring up the conspiracy now? I mean, in their first battle, because Bam being on the staff and sort of the whole idea that it was fixed for him, and this whole sort of narrative that is sort of seems to play out throughout the whole tournament. That here's something. We'll get to it later, but if Bamalam, and it's sort of I'll wait to say that later about and when we get to speaking about Yunan and Chris.
Yes, that gets brought up a lot. Yeah,
but it's the idea that I do find it a bit weird that Bamalam was on the staff and then was involved in this. That he was involved with preparing and setting up the tournament, and then also was in it. It does. I know that does seem a bit strange.
Yeah, the integrity is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a case of if no one else was going to do it, then oh god, all right, we'll get him to do it. But if there were other people who wanted to get in and they were denied because Bam wanted to do it, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really know that, but I mean, yeah.
I'm not going to pretend like I know the inner workings, but if that is what happens, then that's not great, I think.
And Bam and Cystic go through. We're not really going to talk about in any of these videos the judging. Like, a common thing I remember at the time watching all these coming out and seeing how fucking long they are. Like, I think some of them are past the hour mark with the judging. Like, it gets to the point, Tom, where they're 50 odd minutes. Half of it is just archaic on his MacBook. Like,
yeah, there was one. Some of the battles are 51, it's 50 odd minutes long, and 20 minutes of it is the battle.
More than that, even.
It's
but yeah.
No, 20 minutes of battle and 30 minutes of judging. Yeah.
There's more judging than battling. That is.
Fuck, because we made an agreement that we weren't going to bother watching the judging to make
it's just too much. It's just too much. Yeah.
It's just too much. We're already doing a lot of battles to get through this all. And if we were I just couldn't I can't be asked to sit through and watch the same amount of time,
the same angle as well. Yeah, it's just this.
It's for this to spend as long watching the judging as the battles.
I'm pretty sure in one of them, I just remember watching this at the time, most Prob talks for 11 minutes or something. There is some indulgent, ramble. Yeah, I may be misremembering that, but... Yeah.
Oh, God, I've just seen something in my notes. I think I'm changing my mind about who won this battle, just because there's one line that really pissed me off. either Bam or Cystic, I can't remember who, I haven't written down who, said, "You two are such fucking idiots, you couldn't catch a win on a Chinese date site." And then afterwards, Bam does a temple tap. I mean, come on. That is all. That's shocking. Like, that's horrible.
So the next battle that we're going to look at is Bowski and Big Sarters versus Crisis and Mike T.
Because you're so lame, it sounds like you got no brain when you write. I've got the deepest verse, I'll treat you worse than Cobain when he died. I told this bitch ass to take Slim fast, but he won't take my advice. Now we can use that rubber ring on his fucking chin as a flotation device.
Which is actually ironic, because he tried teaching Mickey to swim, but that doesn't make any sense. Because you're an average battle rapper, you showboat to stay afloat in the league's rep. Your bait but have nothing to put on the line, so that's most fishy to me then. Because you went in with the sharks to get ripped up apart by opponents elite, yet you try and teach a Mickey to swim when you never really been thrown in the deep end.
Big Sarters is a sick artist when it comes to rhythm and rhyme, and your choice of rap name is what makes you an easy victim of mine. What I'm doing now, I've done about 1,000,000 times because I'm a true MC, so it's only natural you'll catch me ripping the mic. Plus he seems broke, he's always like, "Lend me a fiver, yo." He's never got money of his own, so he's hassling this guy for dough. Even on the journey up, he couldn't afford to ride the coach, so he cried and moaned to his sidekick and had to rely on a crisis loan. This feminine bastard looks like a dyke. I'm not famous enough to have a fucking lookalike.
Now this is interesting because Crisis and Mike T had never actually battled on Don't Flop before. They'd been on Red JSD. This is kind of the earlier form of Crisis. He's certainly a larger dude, and throughout the battle he makes a lot of fat jokes at Bowski's expense that Bowski sort of furrows his brow at and just sort of, uses him as an example. But, Bowski and Sarters got quite far in the tournament, and they're quite well matched, I think. I think the best Sarters we probably ever see is when he was with Bowski.
Yeah, I can't say that. I don't think I can't remember having ever watched a Big Sarters solo battle,
sure.
to be honest. But that says more about me than him because I've watched a few of his doubles battles and I've really enjoyed them. But for some reason, I've never quite branched out. I'll be honest. I think looking at my notes here, I don't think I was in a good mood when I watched this battle.
Okay.
Because I was very mean about Mike T. In what I've written here.
Yeah, he was unpracticed. Yeah, Crisis took it. Crisis sort of held it.
Yeah, Crisis. I thought I forgot how big Crisis used to be.
Yeah,
because I remember because he came back and he battled Pedro and Uno, didn't he?
That's
and
right. He had that little run.
And he just sort of just looked like like a normally built person.
He did. Yeah. He battled Hulk as well.
I was like, oh wow, he's really lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, so shout out to him, and
good effort.
But he does talk about Bowski going to McDonald's and sleeping in the drive-through, and there are tons of these sort of stuff, and Crisis talks about Sarters' hair, and that's kind of why I like Sarters on a certain level, just because when you battle him, you can talk about like him being a rocker or him being grungy or just sort of ways of attacks that like Zen and Dialect I think have quite a lot of good stuff on that.
Him liking rock comes up
all the time.
It comes up
novel,
all the time.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
I bet your hairdresser makes bear cheddar. Is said to him.
Yeah. But then, oh god, here we go. Here's a setup that was just really strange to me by Mike T in the first round. It was, "I'm the Omen. I bring death like paranormal Ouija boards." And then to rhyme it with "he's so obese." It's hard to believe that he can't. It's hard to believe that he could walk without scaffolding or beam support. He never makes another reference to the Omen or Ouija boards again. He only said it because it would rhyme with beam support. He has a lot of.
He never battled again. Mike T never returned. I did look on his verse tracker, but
did he not? Did he not?
He never stepped back in. And
oh really? Okay, I kind of just assumed he would have done. Well, I don't know when. I don't know a huge amount about Red JSD's history.
Yeah,
I assume battled on there again afterwards.
It's quite brief.
Did did that league fold before this?
I don't think it was ever unfolded really, but yeah, it Bowski is Bowski though. He's a fucking he's good. He is a beast at this point, and we see him cresting, throughout this. We'd seen early on like the Frisko O'Shea battles and stuff like that. He was such a showman, and here he was combining that sort of knowledge that he had on a lot of these newer teams that he was facing, like these, really showing out. Brings a lot of passion behind it as well. And throughout, Tom, Bowski does it in this battle. He does it in all the battles that we see him in up until the semi-finals. Yeah. Impressions. They hit.
The impression in this battle is so good. It's like, hi Mike T, hello. There's that little that little interaction. It's like when you can make your opponent start laughing at themselves, that's when you've smashed it.
Yeah.
And you can see Crisis and Mike T are both trying not to laugh, but just can't help themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like I forgot my bars. Oh dearie me! They keep doing the whole sort of playing off each other, pretending to be their opponents.
Mm-hmm. Bowski just sort of multis out as well. Zeitgeisty Bowski mentioning horse meat in burgers, committed 4 murders while high on horse burgers.
Horse meat must have been this must have been when the scandal broke. There's quite a lot of horse meat bars in this tournament. I noticed.
You can date it. Yeah, you
can
carve
when I was listening to it back, I all. I thought there's also another thing we'll get to later, like a weird thing that's come up that comes up multiple times in this. There's a few.
Okay.
But there's one thing that Bowski and Sarters say that I don't really get. They call Crisis a lunar clone. Which
I guess sort of just in his kind of boyish.
Is he?
No, kinda. Everyone kinda was back then, but
yeah, but
Jay Short kinda was, but no, Crisis.
But it's sort of. I don't know. I think it's a bit of a moot point to call anyone.
Yeah, it is a bit. Yeah, it's redundant. It is, and I mean, talking of repetitions as well, we get a ban scheme, like we said before. People like to attack Sarters on this rock angle. He runs DMC, get a motorhead, give a nickel back. No real delivery. It's kind of a little bit of flow. Ends up a bit wimpy, and this is a clear one. I think. I don't think there's going to be any debate here.
Oh yeah. But there's a moment that I thought was quite interesting. Again, this happens a few times in the tournament. I'm pretty sure there's a moment in their second round where Mike T forgot where he was, because he sort of does a sort of bit of a sigh and sort of puts his hand to his head. But before it's even been 2 seconds, not even 2 seconds, Christ comes in and starts doing the next bit.
Yes.
So I think he styles it out really well. And then they kind of just move on, and they kind of get through it smoothly. And there's a few times, Ceezlin does it. Well, later on, Ceezlin does that quite well when Gizmo forgets something. It's
that's right.
You can all. That's a great thing about with 2-on-2s. Good teams can sort of bail out their partners in situations like that.
Yeah, sort of choke proof. Yeah, I like that. And you do see a lot of them sort of mouthing the following line and stuff like that.
I need to give a shout out to the random use of a number to fit a multi. We all love those.
Yes.
We all love those. He said. What was it? Crisis says he'll sever his face with machetes and blades and 78 swords.
No historical.
But then in the bar before it, Crisis said he had lyrical ammunition and weapons of ranged war, which is just I love bars like that. They just make no fucking sense, but just rhyme. So you just say it.
So the third battle that I want to look at is, we discussed this battle quite recently on the show because we had Eddie P on for a BRR, which was a fantastic episode. It was great to have him on. And I feel the same way. I rewatched the battle the other day, making notes for this. These guys were robbed. I don't see how Aukes and Rogues took this.
Yo, Aukes! Me and Eddie have got this short film that we've done. Well, to be honest, it's not really a film. It's just our mate filming the two of us drilling your mum. And I was wondering if you fancy checking it out and giving us a bit of feedback before we get the job finished and done. Eddie, remember that day, bro?
Brilliant fun. May I
say you have a brilliant mum. I pushed nut in her mouth, and taste-wise, she said it had brilliant cum. What did you say about yours, bro?
I don't know. I bust out in my pants, didn't I, while I was feeling a bum.
Fucking hell, Eddie, man. So this is what happens when you work with novices.
What can I say, bro? I had a very bad day at the orifice.
And your camp is the fact that you fiddle with brains. On the phone you chat, you just twiddle your hair.
You should be a little bit scared trying to beef with my team.
You look like Pamphlet when he was 19.
And damn though, Frisko, you're such a bait fake.
You claim you're straight, but that's not what your name states.
See, Frisco's short for a popular race, mate.
And San Francisco's a
properly gay place.
I agree. I do agree, but
it's a taste thing.
I think
it's a taste thing, but
the reason I'm going to say the reason why is kind of the same reason that we said about the Big J Lefty Bamalam Cystic thing. That perhaps you could argue that Aukes and Rogue had better structured rounds.
Right. Yeah.
And then sort of rather than Eddie P and Frisko kind of just doing
throwing a lot of dirty
kind of just throwing,
yellow.
just sort of making sort of jokes about female members of the opponent's family.
But I mean, Eddie takes it to that sort of.
Don't get me wrong, like
atomic level.
I do think they won, but I'm trying to sort of imagine why they wouldn't be given it.
I always did find, and I'm saying this as someone who battled and was very awkward. I always found Aukes and Rogue a little awkward together. Not that they didn't do well in this tournament and put out.
I thought, they were.
I just never, like, when I was just getting into battling and watching it, I never almost felt comfortable watching them a little bit. It kind of wasn't quite. And, obviously Simon Aukes has gone on to do crazy stuff with Ratman and, just all that sort of stuff, like, props to him. But just here, I think that, because Eddie P and Frisko are taking the whole idea of just being fucking Eddie P and Frisko and just talking about, having a shit off on your nan and stuff like that. But, what about in the second when he talks about the singularity crushed to the point of a P and kind of the mum's fanny fart kind of through 40 million years? It's crazy.
It's, the whole...
It's something.
Mum, like, they do like, lots of sort of scientific mum sort of. Oh God, I'm trying. Sorry, I missed half your sentence. So I don't know if I'm going to repeat you, but the Big Bang singularity thing was a very strange conceptual science bar. That the fact that his mum's fanny stink particle was next to him at the beginning of the universe, and it still disgusts him. just so like amazingly complex.
It's
such
abstract.
A stupid bar.
Alan Moore-esque. It's wonderful. It is. No. That is the conceit is the juvenile. Mm-hmm. And his face, but that's not to say that Aukes and Rogue don't get punches off. Like saying that Eddie P looks like Tarzan on Smack. I love that.
Yeah, that's good.
And you like Pamphlet when he was 19.
Indeed, yeah. Mm-hmm. And the other thing they do say at one point, which does ring true in this battle, it's like I think it's Rogue. He says like, "I could sum up your style in 2 seconds: mum jokes, gay jokes." That was 2 seconds. And he's not wrong.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, it is just kind of they don't really gel together that well. Like, it's kind of interesting just to throw them down and see what happens in the ring. But I don't know. I think just based on crowd as well, and like it's not like we've seen this with Grist. You can't really break down AP and Frisko. It's not really the point.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the crowd is that just the 14-year-olds in the crowd popping
Willie jokes,
Eddie P and Frisko's mum jokes, and Frisko saying something about writing messages in their mum's period blood and things like this. Like, it all gets a bit, messy, which is why. 14-year-old me would have loved bars like that. So I'm not. I'm not disparaging them.
No, certainly not. And, they are quite primitive in that way, but, they sort of stun in their lack of filter. I'm pretty sure Frisko says Rogue looks fully disabled. That's a bar.
Yeah, that's... the other
that is a bar.
I think Aukes and Rogue, I think, actually do have one of the best bars of the battle. It was like, when we go to a club, we go inside the place. When you go to a club, you go inside the place. Which I'll give you that.
The base invader.
And they do a lot of like, I'll take the LE out of your name, and your name will be Eddie Pooh, and I'll make Ed die, and die Ed, and I'll take the FO, and then you're not a risk. Just don't do that.
Yeah.
Please don't do that. It's not.
No.
It's just not good.
And
I think
Tony D in the judging actually called out like the gun bars and stuff. Like,
yeah, he still gave it to Aukes and Rogue though, didn't he?
That's true. He did. Yeah.
So
I suppose.
So you can see.
Yeah. But the guys take it, and I just
he was.
I wouldn't.
Sorry, you go.
No, I just it's kind of like with them not staying in the competition, it's like I would have loved to have seen them versus Big J and Lefty. There seemed to be certain matchups, certain seedings that affected the sort of classic.
I'll drop this in now. This is what I was going to ask you at the end of the episode. But just as you say, you would have loved to see that battle. What would be or have been your dream matchup from this tournament that didn't happen?
Well, I think I've got to say the one that everyone's thinking of. Mike T in Crisis versus Shuffle T and Gibbo. There's just something about the electricity that was sparked between those two. Good question. Well, yeah, Big J, Lefty versus Eddie P and Frisko. Leese versus Dialect and Zen.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
because I thought about that. I was thinking about this at work earlier, and I was thinking, what would my dream battle be? And I would say Dialect and Zen versus Chris Leese and Unan. That would be my dream battle from this.
Yeah, I know. Just a lot of mixing and matching there as well. C and Cracker, versus Dialect and Zen. I think I'd like to see those guys versus everyone.
Well, Mr. 13 Nishi, Dialect and Zen probably be a good battle as well.
Yeah. I mean, Bowski, Big Sarters, Eddie P, Frisko on the community side. I know that.
That would just be so silly.
Yeah, that would be
Which is why I want to watch it.
Yeah,
which is why I want to. I
think it'd be quite depraved in the best possible way.
To quickly say that interesting that neither of us put Bamalam and Cystic into any of our dream matchups. But I'm sorry, do carry on.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah.
I am being harsh because they are good, but I just don't understand how they got as far as they did.
I mean,
But I took down a YouTube comment for this battle, which I don't know what is going through this man's mind. Someone put, this battle was hilarious, but when are we going to see Lunacy and Matter take down Aukes and Rogue?
that must have been Simon Aukes. That must have been.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't know what's going through that man's mind.
No. So Aukes and Rogue go forward into the quarterfinals, and let's talk about the next battle. Let's talk about someone again. Actually, I've had two of these guys on the show from this clash, and the other two I'd love to have on the show. Recently spoke to Fertz, Mr. 13.
That was a really good episode, actually.
Yeah, that was a great episode.
Because I don't think I was a big fan of him as a person until he came on, and I realised, actually, he's just... I sort of know of Mr. 13, the character.
Legend, absolutely.
I think I was sort of... Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, you knew Mr. 13, you didn't know Fertz. When you know Fertz, yeah. So he did that with Nishi, aka Wordplay. Versing J Shaw and J-Smug.
Be calling me for sex when you perform in these events. She know I like to go abroad. She said it's cool to meet my friend. I hit my niggas, told them Jigger said this whore don't charge. Gave the bitch some yay just because I ball so hard. I swear, I knew his chick was cheap. My niggas with her like the Tour de France. Spent the night in Paris and we didn't need a euro.
When you said you were hood, I actually believe you. I thought you was on the block slanging a rock and grabbing a heater. Right until I heard you rapping and bragging by acting a film called Dandidos, where Rude Boy played a ballerina. Now you can say you wore the lobby ready to draw the shotty, but Ballet Boy, I've seen Billy Elliot. Nobody caught a body.
Nishi, we get it. We know you got some time. And if I'm being honest, I'm not surprised. I saw an interview where you said you commit proper crime and then said your second name was Rogers Wright. That isn't smart. It's like you break into a victim's yard, kick their ass, and just before you nick the car, you leave a fucking business card.
So this is an interesting style clash. And J-Smug's one of those guys, Tom. I don't know if you're in this camp. He's got his admirers. He's kind of almost like this this Michael Cera type figure, like.
It's the idea that he's actually quite a good writer.
Yeah.
But his delivery.
Oh no.
It's up there with
conversation.
Yours.
Yeah, it's soliloquy-esque. I mean, I cannot damn it even further. But it's just flawless.
I look at that, and with the best one in the world of J-Smug is, I probably don't even think I could write for a battle really. And I look at him and I think I'd come across like him, which is why I don't want to do it. Without trying which is why I have utmost respect for anyone who gets up battles, etc. Because I know that I do not want to do it, but I just don't. I think that J-Smug just isn't a battle rapper.
No, and he tried as well, and he battled. He beat Villain, He did
beat Villain. I will because I think you've talked about that once or on something, and I went and from that I went to watch the battle. And I was like, oh, fuck, J-Smug actually did beat Villain. Right, okay, that's it. So fair play to him, but I don't know, he just doesn't have the stage presence for me. He doesn't seem like he should be there.
He's the anti-Nishi, isn't he? Because Nishi has so much presence and he's back in this battle. And I think him and Furts are great here. I think they're good the whole tournament, but I think they're awesome here and they're just feeding off the energy. I love in the first... I think it's Nishi who says, I would call you mediocre, but this isn't a compliment battle.
This battle,
it's so funny.
Great.
Yeah. And, their tag team's called Bad Dreams, they say, which I think they dropped afterwards. I don't remember that in any of the branding, but Furts just has, everyone...
So was that Nishi in 13?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh, really? I didn't even notice that.
There's gun titles, there's Dot Mob, there's Bad Dreams. I don't think they're active anymore, but Furts, everyone clowns his delivery, and you get great reaction for it, and it is funny to hear. But it fucking works, He has that booming, entrancing, the whole spraying the gat. David Attenborough lying on the ground at one with nature. They're great together.
Yeah.
Good round. Attacking both. Jay Short and they have the initial in common, but that's about it.
Yeah, well, Jay Short has a great flip because Mr. 13 says something like, "You two have got the greatest hits of the Bee Gees swag," and then Jay Short goes like, "Yeah, that's right, we're the Bee Gees, and you're not staying alive."
That's right.
Which was I can't remember the whole thing, but I was like, okay, that's
Jay Short, but
that's a really good bar.
No.
Well, the thing is, but then he did three flips in a row, and only one of them was actually good.
Yeah.
Which without trying, he sort of said something like, "Breda thinks he's sick. I'll show him sicker yet. You said you'd smoke 2 J's. You need to quit. I'm Nicorette."
That opens the first, doesn't it?
That doesn't mean anything. It rhymes well, but how is a nicotine patch going to stop you smoking weed? But and then it says the David Attenborough, all the members of your family are grizzly bears.
I mean, Fuds does have quite an Ursine appeal, but it's slightly
if he just did, he should have just done that one flip and then just got into his round, because he then also stumbled and forgot his first bar, probably because he was doing too many flips. He was too busy focusing on that and then didn't know where he was. He should have just done the one that was good and then moved on, and it would have gone a lot better for him, I think.
I mean, him and Smug just don't really have anything going on chemistry-wise. Compared to Bad Dreams, it's fucking horrendous. And Smug just kind of their heat maps in terms of the rounds. He kind of chips in here and there. Has a little bit of stuff, but it's and then you say, Short will just flip, and it's I don't know.
There's no interaction between them. It's one of them says something and then the other.
Mm-hmm.
And then one there's a little bit later on, but the whole first round it's just one block one block. It's like no backwards and forwards, no playing off each other. And I mean, and they have some. Oh god, there's a fucking horrible bar in the second round. There's like, I'll put these top dogs on ice like a couple of slush puppies.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I mean, that's that function is familiar. I mean, in the third though, J-Smug does show his worth. Probably getting one of the bigger reactions of the battle, talking about Nishi's cynical return to battling for the money. This penny pinching tramp is why does the coin toss on his iPhone.
Yeah. See that? Great. Like that's one thing, just sort of, because you said I'd scroll down to third round. One thing I wasn't really a fan of was that Mr. 13 and Nishi were just talking to each other during their opponent during like the J Short and J-Smug's rounds,
consulting,
and I assume Ian Daniel's a lot behind them, just not letting their opponents do anything and sort of just bullying the stage, but sort of not actually letting them rap. And I don't know. I feel like if you're in a tournament and these people are paid money to be in it, you should give them the respect to actually let them rap.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, I mean the E&D, the anti-E&D sentiment was brewing, but Mr. 13 and Nishi nevertheless went through deservedly, in my opinion. I think they were pretty excellent here.
Yeah, they were very good. So very quickly on this, I found it a bit jarring that J-Smug kept calling Nishi wordplay.
Yes, that was his old moniker. I don't think he didn't go for it then.
I think it's actually more like his moniker when he makes music.
I believe I'm right. The innuendo clash and Jolly J battled him under it. I think he has been called it on Don't Flop.
Okay.
Yeah, he has been called it. But
I think that was like always his. I think that's always been like his music rap name, and then he had a different battle rap name, I think.
I mean, Nishi, if you're listening, I know you're listening, so get me in touch with Nishi, and we can discuss all of that. So
I should get him on.
Yeah, I would love to.
And my favourite YouTube comment of this battle, this one takes some topping. Someone said, Jay Short had some really smart bars with a Z and rebottles.
Jay's a recycler, to be fair, so not in that way.
I love that. Mm-hmm. They've spelt rebuttals as rebottles. I don't know if that makes me a smarmy prick for finding that funny, but I do.
So the next battle we want to talk about is a battle that I'm sure most people who are into Don't Flop have seen. Most of these battles, but certainly this one must be seared into your memory. This is Dialect and Zen versus Ricky C and Crisis Music.
You man do grind, yeah? This is better than every 16 you've ever done. Yeah. Yo, you man are in the bad man. Man, get a back and if man and his gang try to attack man. If man and his gang try to attack man, you're R.C and I'm on ya. Scar you with blades off a helicopter. I think you need to learn my youth that you cruise minute when you two step in the room. Fuck's sake, I can't even remember my bars to this tune. I'm fucking this up. This is so stupid.
Picture Ricky C spitting freeze in a shitty fleece while gripping a microphone. Here's a suggestion, leave the mic alone. Because if I spray like Mike Cologne, the comparison's like slate to styrofoam, cake to a slice of toast, AIDS to a virus, cold. But the real reason they don't like us both is because he's racist. It looks like that type of bloke. Yo, it looks like that type of bloke. I bet you haven't faced this much colour in a ring since the last time you looked through a kaleidoscope.
Is most known for the diabolical performance of the aforementioned Ricky C and Crisis Music and the demolition immolation by themselves, and then Dialect and Zen just kind of stamp on the ashes. This is legendary.
Yeah, it's incredible. But you know what? I will start this off by saying I have a lot of respect for Ricky C, because he, in the face of his opponent just not being there, really, just flies to flag, does the whole second round by himself, freestyles without pause the whole time. They may not be very good, but he just keeps going, keeps trucking on, and sort of, actually puts on a semi-respectable performance. As Crisis Music kind of just might as well have not been there.
Yeah.
So the fact that he was sort of without batting an eyelid, just sort of picked up for his partner. I think I watched the opening to the judging for this, and I said it was like G Dash was said some fucking horrible things in the judging. He said Crisis Music's family should be ashamed of him.
Gee. Wow.
He said like, Ricky C, I respect you. You carried the flag for your team. Crisis Music, your family should be ashamed of you. It's just fucking brilliant. But right, should we get into actually talking about what they said?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Because they kick off the battle. So it's
Dialect, you're just like Simon says, you got minor bled.
Mm-hmm. Blue Eyes White Dragon's in there. I'm pretty sure smacking these actors. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's your real name is Faris. Yeah, wait.
Yeah, it's just
okay.
I mean,
that's his name, right? I don't know what you're trying to.
And Dialect just looks to the camera, looks to the crowd, shakes his head. Like the crowd is baying for them. Actually, not impressed.
What I love. Well, the thing is, like, I mean, as you know, I went to uni in Leeds, and I've been to see Dialect and Zen do like grime sets, and people in Leeds fucking love them because they are local. They sound local. Local people go to see them, and they're fucking sick rappers.
Yeah.
So people in Leeds have a lot of respect for them. So people were calling Body Bag during Ricky C and Crisis like first round, like not even like halfway, like they barely even started, and people are shouting Body Bag. Zeno Dialect haven't said anything yet, and people are already calling Body Bag. So,
I mean,
the Leeds crowd loves it.
The street no Corey. Like,
do you like that bar?
I enjoy that bar, but for me that bar is all in just the oomph of it. Like,
I think,
and as a soap fan, I'm a soap fan, low key.
I'll put it. Oh, really? Okay,
not modern. I don't watch it anymore, but I appreciate the history.
Yeah, I never have been, so I don't really get soaps, so it's not
right.
It's not for me.
I mean, the barbaric flow Dialect has in this. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think if anyone else said it, it would be terrible.
It's almost a Ricky C bar almost that he's selling. Like, yeah.
Oh, but I have to say, Dialect. I mean, I've met Marcus a few times. He's a lovely man, but he does have a terrible moment in his battle, which I think people gloss over because of what his opponents were saying. He said he does a temple tap after saying, I'm not talking about cream when I say he likes to get his Savile on.
Yes. Yeah, that was, I mean, slightly apt for the era. I think even a little late then, but
like
yeah.
it's like the Bamalam one. It's like Bam doing the temple tap earlier and him doing the temple. If they didn't do the temple tap, I probably wouldn't have brought it up. But it's just like, say a shit bar, then do a temple tap. You can't. No.
Just... You know, the battle was over in their own round, but obviously when we see Dialect and Zen, we know for a fact it's going to be a complete body bag. But they do continue in the second.
You say they?
I mean, yeah, it's pretty much one-sided. Because they're quoting Big Daddy Kane. No, pretty not. No.
He does... And then Ricky, like, he sort of does this thing where he says, like, "Oh, I'm going to spit a grime verse. It's better than anything you two have ever done." And you see, like, I think you can see Zen. He's just shaking his head, like he's almost like trying to tell him not to do it. It's like, oh no, just don't. It's not worth it. Just leave it. Just end your round. But it's like a sort of they're almost like sympathetic to them all.
Yeah, it is a shame. Yeah, it is absolute bludgeoning of them on Dialect and Zen's part. And these guys really came out the woodwork, we must remember as well. Like, you know, obviously history's forgotten Ricky C and Crisis Music and adores Dialect and Zen, like you say. But, you know, it was mad that they were going up against these guys, these beasts. And, you know, Ricky, all his multis are predicted by Zen as well in the second. Like, I love that bit. That's real fucking... Yeah,
Zen does a lot of predicting bars in general.
Yeah, no, he does definitely.
But with these two, with the best one in the world, even I could predict Ricky C and Crisis music bars.
Yeah.
There's one bar that Ricky C says, which I think is actually really, really good. But because he said it in the middle of his round, where the crowd are just ignoring him completely, it got completely brushed over. He said, like, like dialect. You weren't getting my sentences. I'll say it in sign language. Holds up his middle finger. It's like, you getting this?
Right, yeah.
Actually, is like a decent bar, but because the crowd, like, I don't think anyone in the room even realizes that he said it, just because they're all having their own conversations. They've all gone off for a smoke. Like, no one's paying attention.
No. And I think Dialect said in one of his interviews, maybe, I think it was after he battled the guys over there, Sarters and Bowski, he was saying to Steph that in many ways, he was glad this battle wasn't in London, because he almost considered it a waste of time. Like, it just wasn't worth the effort. Like.
Oh, imagine if you'd come down like to London Leeds. I know how long that journey is, and you have been prepping for however many weeks. You've been writing, you've been rehearsing, practicing, making sure that you're sort of getting your interactions right, everything like that, and then just have two people turn up and just freestyle would piss you off, I reckon.
Yeah, I think
that would piss me off. That would piss me off.
And I mean, guys, you know what we're talking about here. The Dialect and Zen battle is a complete glorious.
If there's any battle that you should watch from this tournament, it is this one. I assume you're like me, that like you also enjoy the terrible battles as much as the good ones.
Of course.
Yeah, like any. So I've got down to me talking about the video judging. So I'm a bit all over the place. I watched this about a week ago. I can't remember it properly. I'm just reading from my notes, but Nameless said even the average YouTube viewer could work out who won this battle, which made me laugh.
Very, very low common denominator, yeah.
Yeah, and it was like, what was it, a definition? Whoa, that's a crazy battle. It's so close. It's heated. As you can imagine he would. And then the best, I think, as me collecting YouTube comments, the best YouTube comment of the whole tournament, which was, Ricky C is clearly the leader of his team, as he has 3 stripes on his trackie and Crisis only has 2.
So we get now into the next battle, which is C Major and Cracker. Spoiler alert, these guys take the ultimate competition versus Hulk and Sniper E. Now, Tom, I'm going to try and remain impartial here, but Cracker actually tweeted something a few weeks ago. I quote, 2020 needs to be the year that Battle Rap leaves Tom Kwei behind. So, I mean, with that sentiment in mind, Wave, like,
What did you do to him? What have you said?
I don't know.
You said something?
I don't think so. And even if I did, it was only meant in Battle Rap podcast world, but no bother. We will go through. I just wanted to bring that up spitefully. So we get now into the next battle, which is C Major and Cracker. Spoiler alert, these guys take the ultimate competition versus Hulk and Sniper E.
Well, try Jihad here, and I'll leave C skull vacant, have Cracker covered in red like jam on a Jacobs.
And you skip that fear. You skip that fear. Are we supposed to be scared? I'll lick you with a full bottle of Heineken for looking at me weird. Glass everywhere. Wet up his hair. Now that's how you turn Heineken into ginger beer.
Okay. See, we win because we spit real shit and the crowd love it. You win because you kiss ass and suck off the judges.
2006! That's astoundingly shit! That's like 15 views a day on average, Tim.
That's average. Bar videos get double that in a couple months when they come out of this, kid.
So Hulk's on the weed so much his verses take him whole weeks. He's such a droll fiend, it leaves him with no peace. But someone from West told us you got robbed for that dope cheese. I guess you were just Bruce Banner that night, Hulk, because you got left with no green.
Seeing Cracker versus Hulk and Sniper E. I mean, seeing Cracker from the off, a very kinetic team. Like
they are and they aren't. They do the whole fucking gym thing, which is terrible.
Soul brought that up, right? That is weird.
I don't know what they would like. What were they doing with that? Was it? I think they mentioned at one point that Sniper E either works or used to work in a gym or something like that, which is why they called him Jim the whole battle and were personal trainers. That was very bad. And I'm fairly sure they both admit that. Well, not that Cracker would listen to this after he said that.
Sure.
So I reckon I could say we could say what we want about him because he's never going to listen, is he?
Yeah, I don't. So. Maybe not. He wants to leave it behind. But yeah, I mean, Snipery and Hulk here teaming up, interesting team. More of a kind of veteran aesthetic there, perhaps. Certainly with Snipery. They did well with some ideas. Sniper E always performing to the camera, I noticed.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. It was because Hulk was always performing to the crowd, and then Sniper E always performing to the camera.
Yeah.
I don't know if they planned to do that, or do you think? Well, was Sniper E aware that it was making it clear to the judges, video judges? Is that what he was trying to do?
Yeah, that's the way of thinking, right?
I assume. It does seem quite weird, though, that he's sort of just getting right up in the camera a lot.
Yeah. And there isn't too much, lots of sort of, he's Harry Potter and, semen in your ass. Harry Hill wants his glasses back and,
Oh, God, when he says, you're Harry Potter and you're Ron Weasley. I'm like, okay, no one. I don't think anyone has ever called someone who wears glasses Harry Potter in a rap battle before. So I take my hat off to him.
It was great, yeah.
Original and creative. And I'm also fairly sure that no ginger person's ever been called Ron Weasley. Yeah. I mean, come on.
I mean, seeing Cracker have some really funny stuff about the views on his vids being high, but only because they've been around since 2006.
So long. Yeah.
And C is just one of the most fun, entrancing battle rappers to watch when he's on that tear. Like, everyone always just looks at him respectfully when he's performing because, if you're his opponent, because it is just such an amazing display.
Yeah.
And Cracker, he has that scrappy fucking, bulldog thing that'll buttress through, like.
Yeah. There's something about Cracker does spit his bars really well, and he gets like aggressive in people's faces and everything, but he just doesn't seem like a very threatening person.
Right.
So it's like it's sort of like the dichotomy between what he's saying and how he's saying it, and his normal demeanor and what he looks like seem
okay.
I sometimes can't follow it.
So do you feel that they won this battle, or?
I think they did, but it was I think it was actually very close. Yes. I really do think it was close, but because I think Hulk and Sniper have some really good bars, but they also have some really not very good bars. Like at one point they said, Sniper says to like C Major is like, you claim to be light skins, I'll get your Nigerian bres to spray you with Legs Africa. It's like, what?
I mean, they don't really hold up the scrutiny on a podcast, yeah.
Why? No, but like, how is spraying someone with deodorant a threat? Like, it's not like, I'm gonna get my Nigerian bres to spray you with deodorant. Okay. I don't get it. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
And
if they cut out bars like that, they could have won. They really could have won this battle.
I don't know. I think it's quite clean here for C and Cracker.
I thought that whole gym shit really pissed me off.
I mean, it didn't bother me as much. It is contrived,
it's so bad. They're just like, we're just gonna say you're called Jim and call you Jim the whole battle, and then pretend to be personal trainers. If they didn't,
it's hackneyed.
But then, like, I think if Hulk and Sniper were on their best game, they could have won. I think, I'll put it this way: C and Cracker were beatable in that battle. That's how I'd say it. If Sniper didn't say bars like, you can't cover the angles, like, something about covering the angles if you're wearing football socks, like an ankles bar.
Yeah.
And then, like, you can see Cracker starts laughing, like, at him, and then he goes, "Oh, look, he just got it." It's like, no, he was laughing at you. He wasn't saying it was a good bar. He was just amazed that you said it.
So, any YouTube comments for that one?
Oh, this is a great one. Someone put, in all capitals, "This ain't a freestyle. They wrote their lyrics."
Don't put a beat on.
Yeah. I always loved when I've like shown battle rap to people and shown like battles to people. And, like halfway through it, we'll be like, "Are they freestyling?" So like, it seems like they're really good at it.
I mean, people just exactly. They just assume,
and then people just assume that something like this would be freestyle. And often when people find out it's not, even if they know nothing about battle rap, would be like, "Oh, but like, oh, come on! Like, surely they should be freestyling." Like,
imagine if it was though. Like, imagine if someone just did 3 great rounds of themed material with interweaving strands, like.
Oh, it's people doing like fucking 8-syllable multis as a freestyle. Like Soul saying, "No Geneva policies, your whole demeanor bothers me." Like as a freestyle.
Off the dome! Off the dome! Yeah. So, the next battle, Gizmo versus Ceezlin. Just had Ceezlin on the show recently. Really fun episode. It's not out actually in BRR World as we record this, but it will be out soon.
I was going to say, I've not heard
No,
that
yeah.
so
I'll send you a link. I'll send you a link.
Is that a drop?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Pre-drop. Versus Shuffle T and Gibbo. So, yes, people, Shuffle T was in this tournament. Sans Marlowe. Marlowe couldn't do it, couldn't get the money. It's been mentioned in other battles or was studying or so. I'm not quite sure the proper reason. But anyway, Shuffle was around. Shuffle had battled a little bit, but this time I think he battled RS and Liquid, coming up through the freestyle tournament. I think that's where he met her and then got onto the roster that way. Versus Gizmo and Ceezlin.
And round here, let's be honest, everyone's always loved an underdog. So whilst you've been down in beer, rum, a concoction of some other shots, chatting shit around your peers like, "Kong, of course we'll body these knobs." We've been patiently plotting your downfall, like Danny Ocean did to Terry Benedict and them bunch of jobs.
And you have got some awful schemes. You look like you've slept outdoors for weeks. Talk is cheap, but he's a dwarf, so he can actually engage in small talk for free. That's why he's always talking breeze, because he can just about afford the fee. But
I tell the gunner shoot like I'm Arson and they aim at targets that are large and whack. So you can suck your margin, dad. Brothers, sisters, aunt and nan. Cause you aren't the man. I'm a Dan Gargan that's gonna slam dunk these bitches like Joanna, man.
Let's go, see.
See, you arson twats, I'm dedicated. You whack nicks forever hated. I put a bet on myself and Ladbrokes go collect the papers so I can come but a smile on these Leeds fans' faces like Bradford got relegated.
I'm devastating. You ain't impressive. I'll put the cross in your head when I spray the weapon and show Gibbo why he deserves more caps than David Beckham.
See, Tom, as a long-time fan of Don't Flop and Battle Rap in general, it's just interesting to see that Shuffle's 2-2 debut wasn't with the man Theo. Like,
yeah, that is weird, isn't it? And it leads into the whole what could have been if they had entered the tournament, would they have won it? Sort of questions like this, because I don't know, they might have done, they probably wouldn't have, because it seems like a lot of the video judging. I hate to say it, but went sort of tend to lean towards bars over jokes, so they may not have done so well, just based on the fact that was probably the reason that Eddie P and Frisko didn't get through, and Big J and Lefty didn't get through. I don't know, maybe they could have won it, but I don't think so, because I think I love Gizmo and Ceezlin as a pair. They're just such good rappers.
They are. They fit. Yeah, the friendship comes through.
Like what? And I've said this before. I don't know if I've said this to you. That one of my favourite Don't Flop battles ever, definitely like in my top 10, is Ceezlin versus Jefferson Price, the beatbox.
Oh yeah, we actually covered that one. Battle. Yeah, the 2-on-2. Yeah,
such a good battle.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a good battle.
That's an interesting pick. Okay, yeah, that's left field, but
I just love it because like they're both just flowing really well, and like and the beatboxing is good. It's just like a good fun battle.
So
it's not very serious. That's the other. Yeah, sorry. We should talk about these battles.
We should talk about Gibbo. Yeah, who? I mean, people don't really remember Gibbo. Like, how do you think him and Shuffle do throughout the battle?
I think they're good. I do think they're good. And I watched a sort of interview thing, sort of call out before the first round, and Shuffle T and Gibbo sort of do play off each other well, but it's just not same level as what I feel like if I just watched this battle without knowing, if I had watched Shuffle T and Gibbo before watching every Shuffle T and Marlowe battle, then maybe I could have appreciated a bit more. But the whole time I was just thinking, like, you're better with Marlowe. I couldn't get that when I was watching it. I know that's really harsh on Gibbo because he is actually quite good in this battle.
Yeah,
and I think they are a decent team, but they're just not, just not as. Yeah, it's just...
No. I mean, there's so much shuffle already there. The long multi-streams and, you know, just his kind of clowning aesthetic and asking them why they're so cocky and stuff like that. He doesn't quite have that grace that maybe he attained later with Marlowe's backing. But Gibbo is on his wavelength, though. I will say that. It's not like he's teamed up with Prince Kong or something like...
Yeah.
I mean, shout out to Prince Kong, but just that wouldn't have worked. Like, you know.
I'm just imagining Prince Kong and Shuffle.
I would love that. Oh, my God. Yeah.
That would be brilliant. But it's like things that great. As you say about Shuffle T's multis, but it's like, was it? You think you're this brilliant rapper, but you spit in the style of William Shatner.
Yes.
Which that's a sort of early brilliant Shuffle T multi. And I swear, like my whole Twitter feed at the moment is just him putting out multis for people from his like rhyming book or whatever.
He has flooded Twitter with that, certainly, yeah.
Yeah. What was it? And so Gibbo saying like you don't think outside the box like me and Shuffle Bumberclart T.
I mean,
which like Ceezlin flips, but then it kind of goes into a rhyme scheme at the start of his round. So I think that they were always going to do like a rhyme scheme using like Shuffle T. Like, because they did like lung disease and all these kind of things. So Ceezlin just kind of like, I think, incorporates that into his flip, where he's like, you're a fucking neat, you're not a bumberclart, you're a bumberqueef.
I mean, they run together well, like, you know.
Yeah. But what I love about this as well is it's just because for making my notes on this one, I was watching it on the bus, and I was taking my notes in my phone, and on my predictive text now, when I type in your A, it comes up with bumberqueef. It just always fucking cracked me up. So, because I was texting like my colleague, and it comes up with the word bumberqueef as a suggestion. It's brilliant.
So yeah, Gizmo and Ceezlin again, you know, do go through here just because Shuffle and Gibbo. I mean, it's not that they're just not tested like these guys are. They just not got that relationship, that history, and that comes through. And Gizmo and Ceezlin work well in this small room. Like, we didn't see much of these guys as we moved to more of the modern era, so it was cool to see them riding through this tournament. They, you know, lots of speaking of the rum committee, that whole the whole sequence that ends with getting brains in the back like JFK is great.
Yeah, but how many? But I mean, not to disparage, but how many brains backseat JFK bars are there?
I mean, there's been a few. Yeah, of course. I mean, it's not like the Zapruder footage or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh god, I forgot what I was going to say now because you talked about something else.
But you know, they talk about the gap in Gibbo's forehead looking like a vortex.
Yeah. And it's like there's a moment where sort of there's quite a lot of football bars in these, especially the battles at like in distinction, like at distinction in Leeds. Like there's a lot of Leeds United bars to try and get the crowd on their side. And it was like I'll put a smile on these fans' faces like Bradford got relegated. They're like trying to get the crowd going, and they just kind of don't really respond that well. I think they both thought that would just get like surefire. We'll slag off Bradford. We're in Leeds. They'll all like go mad, and it just didn't happen.
No, it was.
And I think that happens a lot with the football bars trying to play up to the crowd. It just doesn't really work.
No.
Oh yeah, on football bars. I think it was in the battle we mentioned earlier because I was going to say about a weird thing that pops up multiple times. It's like Balotelli's camo Bentley. Do you know about this?
I'm familiar with the vehicle. Yeah,
I know you're not. I know you're not really that into football.
I know about. I obviously know Mario. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but Balotelli used to drive like got a camo wrapped Bentley and used to just drive it and park it in the middle of the street in random places in Manchester just all the time because he just didn't give a fuck. and he just sort of so many stories of what he got up to when he was at Man City, like things like driving around the streets like at Christmas time dressed as Santa, just throwing money at people.
Yes, yeah, I remember that as well. Yeah,
and sort of all sorts of just madness, but like. Yeah, I just love the idea of someone having a camo Bentley and trying to hide it by parking it in the middle of a city.
So, I mean, Gizmo and Ceezlin go through, and I think that is, deserving.
Yeah, definitely.
Shovelty bides his time, and, the next time we see him, he's actually beating the pair that win this tournament.
Yeah.
In one of the...
No, they battled...
was it Verb T?
No, well, I was going to say them, and also Mickey Worthers and Double L.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, of course. Yeah, but I meant more in a tournament setting. But no, I misspoke. I definitely misspoke. And we get now to the final battle of this episode, Tom, which is Unan and Chris Leese. What a fucking pile driver of a duo! I remember at the time this being announced, and it just felt so obvious. Versus Toucan and Callumboom.
Seriously, Unan has like a plethora of personality problems, and some emerge in every sullen verse. He talks about people's girlfriends so much that one concurs. He's just pissed that he doesn't have one so he could cuddle her and make love to her. Now, deep inside him, that stuns and hurts. That's why sometimes he feels a sudden urge to get red, real mad, sputter words, and just genuinely act like a cunt to birds. Plus, when his mum's at work, he likes to dance around to the theme tune to Thunderbirds in her panties and summer shirts.
We'll break this tournament down, because you two might find it too difficult too. There's 32 rappers. After today, that number will be split into two. 16 in the quarters, and they'll be quickly reduced. It's halves every time, like you buying drinks for that little bitch boom.
Okay.
8 rappers left in the semis, and that figure's bringing you through to the 4 left in the final. We'll find out the victors in June. So kiddies, it's true. It didn't take a mathematician to prove when they said only 2 can win. They didn't mean you!
Who... on a similar tier.
I think Toucan and Callumboom were a lot better in this battle than people give them credit for.
Yeah.
I think that the reaction that Unan and Chris Leese got was only because all the rappers on stage were fans of them. I assume it was at the end of the day because they all seemed absolutely hammered, and they were just wanting to, and they were kind of just, I don't know. I think it was the whole thing of like everyone getting involved and just sort of having fun and just like fucking around with each other rather than actually enjoying, like thinking the bar was add like, the whole stress to Callum bit, which obviously is a great moment.
Yeah.
But the reaction it got was just because of the people on stage rather than how monumental the bar actually is.
Yeah, certainly.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I do. I mean, but it is that moment, isn't it? Like, Callumboom doesn't do himself any favours either. He's very unlikable on camera.
Yeah, he's quite annoying in this battle. He keeps talking.
Kind of bratish, yeah.
He's kind of bratish. He keeps trying to, he's winding up Chris and Unan. Oh, God, their vlog before the start of the tournament is... Have you seen it?
I don't remember it, no.
It's awful. It's like they do this really shit sort of sketch of Toucan saying, "Oh yeah, we've got Chris, Leese, and Unan," and Callum pretending to not know who they are, and then doing really shit descriptions of them, and then when Callum eventually finds out, he storms out and slams the door. It's like, what? It's just really awkward. It's just really, really awkward. And but I think Toucan was actually quite good in this battle. I think they did quite well at taking the piss out of Unan. When they kept grunting, it's like unanimous. It was actually really good. It cracked me up. And where was it? And then they did the whole thing of sort of saying that he's always friend zoned by girls, and he sort of starts listing girls' names. I don't know if they're actually real people or just people who fit the multi. And then said at the end, just being like, I don't know, maybe your fortunes could change if you baked them a cake, which just sort of pops off to. Oh, that was the thing that I was meant to bring up earlier. Yeah, it wasn't this. How did we forget to mention in the Mr. 13 Nishi J-Smug battle the I'd rather watch Peep Show.
Yes, yeah.
I'm just seeing a thing there about saying a song about an reaction.
Yeah.
Do you actually know the context of that? Because I had to I found in the comments like actually explaining it, and I went,
right.
Oh, yeah.
I don't recall the exact. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. This is. Oh God, I can't believe I'm actually going to say this. There's one of the Don't Flop Digs videos. It said in a comment. I didn't look back through, but I vaguely remember this story being told. That I'm going to assume it was like a Mickey Worthless one, because it sounds like a story that Mickey Worthless would be involved.
And there are only a few digs, so yeah.
Yeah. It was something like there was a girl who was trying to get with and started masturbating in the bed next to him, and he just ignored her and carried on watching Peep Show.
Oh yeah, I think this is told in the Beyond the House tour. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Beyond the House tour. Okay.
Yeah, in the house. Yeah.
In the house. Okay. No, because I just saw something that said the House tour in a comment, and I've got my wires crossed.
Yeah. That was
But yeah. So that's So Mr. 13 was saying something along the lines of like, your girl was fingering herself in front of me, and I went, nah, I'd rather watch Peep Show.
Right.
Which I can't believe. I wasn't going to go through without mentioning that bar because it's fucking hilarious. Yeah. So this about like. I think sort of Chris and Unad are like pretty much the whole battle are just looking ahead as well. Like they sort of mention a lot of times in this battle, like the next round of the tournament. It's always like they sort of.
This was meant to be a cakewalk. This is when the match, the seeding worked in a way that get these out of the way.
Yeah, because. Right, and we'll get to, and I'll bring this up now because it is mentioned in this battle that Yunan says that there's a snake and don't flop, and he found out who his opponents were early.
Yeah.
From Bamalam. But, right, here's a question. If Bamalam knew their matchup early and before, did he know it? He must have known his own matchups then. So Bamalam must have known who he was going to battle before anyone else because he was organising it.
Surely, yeah, or he even would have picked.
So that gives him a massive unfair advantage.
Undoubtedly, yeah. I mean, is it that much of an advantage though? You've still got to beat the people in front of you, like.
Yeah, but like if you get, I don't know, sake of argument, the matchups are decided 3 months out, and then you find out 6 weeks out, you've got double the time of your opponents to prepare.
Sure. I guess that's fair. Yeah, I mean.
So I do think there is an advantage to, and also the thing is, I don't know if there was like an actual sort of, I don't know, when you say like knockout tournaments of football where it's like you play him and then you go through, and was that decided in kind of like seeding, or was it random each time?
I don't know if it was actually random or maybe it was pre-decided, but
I don't know if it was like seeded so that like these people battle these people. But if it was random each time and it was kind of then. I don't know. I just feel
just
like
for the sake. Maybe it was random because for the sake of entertainment, some of the matches are a bit puzzling. But
yeah, I think there are definitely certain teams that are kept apart from each other.
Mm-hmm. But we get to the stress Callum sequence, which is probably the most memorable, certainly one of the most memorable Don't Flop moments ever. I mean,
it's like one of the biggest reactions of all time.
Oh, it's insane. I mean, I've never seen anyone high-five the crowd before, like, after they delivered a punch, like.
Oh no, Troy Brown does that. Troy Brown does that. I've seen him do that. It was like MA as head judge, like coming in and just like pushing people out the way and just like calling it off, and like Foster's and Locksmith pouring his drink out, like Locksmith pours his Foster's and all that sort of nonsense. And it was just like people just went absolutely mental.
The build up as well. It just appealed to that, I don't know, that kind of lizard G, like just kind of the repetition of it.
Sorry, just go. I've come to my notes in this round. I actually think my favourite moment from this round is like when they go. They say to Callum, like, "I heard you work at the Attleborough Arms." Fuck the Attleborough Arms.
Yeah,
it's just so stupid, which is why I love it so much. It's just like fuck the pub you work at.
And I mean, any comments for this one?
Well, I mean, it's fairly obvious who won.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and also what I loved is one other thing about like the reaction is like at a certain point like Locksmith just walks over and just gives Unan his hat and just puts it on his head, like during that whole reaction thing. So for the whole of like Toucan and Callumboom's last round, Unan's wearing a hat that's got Locksmith written on it, which I just find was funny. Just
branding.
And yeah, it's great. Like there's actually some really good bars from Toucan and Callum in their third, but they're just.
Oh my god! Yeah,
not gonna.
Crazy. They've got to still keep going.
They can't you can't really come back from that. It's like what is it? I hope Mrs. Potato Head didn't pack her angry eyes at you, Dan. Which it's good. It's a good one liner. And then Toucan says, "Those look like your shoes."
Yeah.
Which I think if they weren't following that, then they might have had
it's
an
satirical,
averagely decent chance.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, it's a shame for Toucan as well. He's got a little bit of a millstone around his neck there. Yeah.
Yeah, and what I love is at the end of the battle, just before it sort of cuts to go to the judging, it's like Urs doing a W sign with his hands, like. He's mouthing something or speaking to Chris and Unan, like trying to get their attention, while he's doing like a W sign with his hands. So imagine Callum and Toucan looking over at the league owner. It's already. It was just not that they would have ever thought they had any chance of winning at the end of it, but just the disrespect shown.
Yeah. And that brings us then to the end of this episode, where the first part, where we're going through all of these battles for the 2v2 tournament. Let us know down below what your favourite moment is, or favourite line from any of these battles, or indeed anything from the tournament. Follow us at battlerapresume. As always, Patreon, iTunes, leave us a review, all that sort of good stuff. Go back and watch all these battles. Also, Tom, I'll see you on day 2.
See you on day 2.